To help you go home earlier, we're breaking down 3 systems that you can use to save hours on admin every month and actually leave work at work. So your time is your money. Let's get into it. The second system practitioners can put into place to help them go home earlier is an end-of-day closeout routine. What do we mean by this, and how will it help?
Yes. Hi, absolutely. I'm super excited to talk about this. Everybody loves ideas on how to get home earlier and feel better about it. Your end of day closeout routine. This is another one of those things that we have to do every day. We know it's important, and it does come around at the end of the day where sometimes we have a little bit of a lower energy level, and maybe we're starting to mentally switch gears into whatever comes next after work for us. So it's easy to make it something that, we'll sort of start improving tomorrow. It's easy to sort of blow through it, rush through it. But we can make it into lots of different things. So to make it into something positive, we want to really think about a few things instead of just going through the motions.
How does not making the most of your end of day closeout potentially affect your evening and your next work day?
Okay, so you're really kind of missing an opportunity then to set yourself up for the next day in a positive way. So a lot of practitioners end up either staying late to finish charting or admin stuff, or they're walking out with a mental to-do list of things that they haven't finished. So either way, you're not actually leaving work, right? If you're bringing it home with you mentally, you haven't actually left work. And then often the next morning starts with a little bit of a scramble because the previous day wasn't closed out properly. So it kind of can create the cycle of never feeling like truly done and good about that.
So what does a good closeout actually look like?
So I want you to set a goal to make it about 15 to 25 minutes. Mentally clear, nothing left undone. So I gave you a window of a goal because this is going to be 100% one of those things that is going to get quicker the more that you do it. So as it becomes more of a routine, you'll be able to start doing a little bit more quickly and a little bit more efficiently. And I'm going to give you a few steps. First step is complete your SOAP notes. And I'm going to say about 10 minutes. And again, bear with me because it'll start out taking longer and you'll get quicker at it. But using a system like ClinicSense to support you, you can use pre-built templates, pre-filled text, short codes, a lot of different things to make it go quicker so that you're filling in blanks rather than starting, from a quote unquote white page and starting from scratch. So I would suggest that you start charting immediately after each patient. If you prefer to batch it at the end of the day, that's also, sort of a personal decision, but kind of pick the way that you're going to do things and make that sort of a routine that you repeat. There are also some exciting AI updates coming to ClinicSense, and those options are coming very soon. So we are excited to hear more about that. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is process your task list for about 5 minutes. This is a quick, this is not a deep dive. This is kind of a quick, taking a look at your task list and seeing, is there anything that takes 2 minutes that I can just kind of wrap up and take off my list right now? Is there anything that needs scheduling? Can I just do quickly something to put something on the schedule for another day and have that sort of at least, settled of when it's going to happen? Is there anything that can be automated? Is there a quick automation that I could do now? Or is automating this, something that I'm going to set aside for when I'm doing admin work on another day? So you set this up, you get in the habit of doing this. And this is another, once you start doing this every day, you're going to get really good at, this is something that I actually put into practice myself after I had my second child. I took this time at the end of each day to sort of situate a little bit. And I promise that it gives you a lot of sort of, mental satisfaction at the end of the day. Next step is going to be review for tomorrow. So just take a quick look who's coming in. Does anyone need any special personalized prep? And this sort of eliminates your scramble in the morning pretty directly. The next thing is to clear your workspace. So physically, that's kind of obvious, tidy the treatment rooms, whatever you need to do to physically, kind of straighten up at the end of the day. And then also digitally, close out tabs, complete notifications. Don't open up your computer the next day or your device the next day and have, all these things sort of staring at you that were left from the day before. The next thing I want you to do is a brain dump. So again, 5 minutes. First time you do it, it's going to take more than 5 minutes, but, kind of work your way, put in the reps to get it down to 5 minutes. If you do the brain dump, you're going to write down anything else that's still on your mind, like anything that's kind of opened and not closed. Mental, think of them as the mental open tabs. After you do that, close your laptop, leave. This helps you not only, feel comfortable that everything that you have to remember for the next day is written down. It's not going to get lost. But it also, there's actually a lot of science behind this, the psychology of writing to-do lists. there is science that shows that simply writing down what's not done at the end of a day, people often suggest that you do this as well before bed. If all that is written down, it's proven to alleviate mental burden. It's proven to alleviate some stress, and it also says that it helps with better sleep. So lots of benefits there. But essentially, if you have everything written down, you're not going home still thinking about it, and you have it for the next day, right? So you don't have to start the next day saying, oh, what was it actually that I was, thinking about kind of wrapping up yesterday? And again, as you make these become more of a habit, you'll be able to do them much more quickly.
So let's summarize. Can you explain the benefit of using these systems every day?
So many practitioners spend 45 minutes to an hour or more wrapping up at the end of the day, right? So wrapping up and or skipping steps and carrying those home with you mentally, or, physically, who knows? You could also bring your computer home and continue at home. But with this system, you can get out in 25 minutes. And the important part is get out like kind of guilt-free, or get out stress-free, or get out, being truly done, right? Because you can actually leave work at work. And then that means that you're actually present when you get home. You can live your life outside of the practice. You don't have to carry, kind of client concerns with you or admin tasks in your head. You can start your day the next day in a positive and in control way. And then the momentum continues, right? So as I mentioned, when you start to do these things every day, you'll get to do them more quickly, but also you're building momentum. So you're starting to see the positives, you're starting to see the benefits. And then the more you do that, the more you're motivated to continue to do that. So you're really sort of building good habits. I do believe, and I talk about this with clients in various sort of sectors and industries, the motivation comes after you start to do those baby steps. It's not that all of a sudden you're very motivated and then you start to do all the right things, right? You start to do all the things just as you intended them to. When you start to take the baby steps, then you start to build your momentum. So that really, the impact is only magnified over time, I believe.
And what if Clinic Sense or other systems practitioners are using aren't really supporting this kind of flow?
So yeah, that could be an issue. A simple place to start is you could take this 5-step routine and keep it visible every day as a reminder. And we have added that in the description below for you to either print down or write down or have it available to you digitally. But in order to make this system work for you, you do need to be able to do it quickly so that you'll continue to do it, right? So it doesn't become another task. Our goal is to streamline things, not to add more for you to do at the end of the day. So you do need some systems in place to support you. If you are looking for support in building those systems, I offer a VIP day, ClickUp Cleanup VIP day. And essentially we build the templates and the task workflows that will help you do this more quickly at the end of the day. So your closeout takes something more like 20 minutes versus an hour. And it's basically how we're going to do that is removing the decision fatigue and the friction in doing all these things. So it's doing all these tasks, but doing them, making it a little bit easier to actually do them.
Thanks so much, Jen. This is so helpful. For anyone in the community, Jen is in the group. You can reach out to her directly for any help or assistance. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love talking about this stuff, so I'm happy to do it.
Yay! See you soon.
Bye-bye.